Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Rachel Singer, and we are into our mindfulness and hypnosis week. Today I'm going to focus on a specific strategy for mindfulness meditation, and this is our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 mindfulness exercise. You ready? Okay. This is an awesome exercise if you're finding that you cannot shut your brain off. Your brain is pulled in too many different directions. You're filled with stressful, anxious thoughts. You're feeling somewhat disconnected from the reality of what's happening to you in that moment. Mindfulness is a great way of shifting our focus to what's really happening, getting out of our heads a little bit. When we're feeling anxious, sometimes those thoughts can take over in a really unpleasant way. So with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding exercise, we are going to tap into every single one of our senses. Any piece of this video that's useful for you, please feel free to use. Anything you don't like, discard it, throw it away. That's totally fine. We're going to start with 5 things that you see. If you're feeling super stressed or overwhelmed, you can just look around the room or look around the space where you are and just name the items. Got my basket of fun fidgets here. And so I could even just look through and just say what they are. Ball, koosh, kind of old school, tissues, star, egg face, fidget spinner. So even just looking at them and naming them, our brain can only retain so much information in one go. And if most of the thoughts we're thinking about are stressful and overwhelming thoughts, we're going to feel stressed and overwhelmed. If we're purposefully directing our attention somewhere, we can actually shift our focus away from those stressful thoughts. So with the 5 things we see, we can just look at them and we can name them. We can also go into more depth and we can look at them and look at all of their properties. I love this thing. This was like a big thing when I was a kid, and they've come back now. So we can look at this item and we can just even describe in our brains, what we see. What colors do we see? Does it emit light or reflect light? Does it have any shadows? Are there any different shapes to it? Does it change shape or color as we play with it? We can also give ourselves specific assignments. So we can look around and identify different shapes. Look around the space where you are right now and see if you can find something that's shaped like a square. I've got a picture next to me that's a nice square shape. Look around you and see if you can identify something that's shaped like a triangle. I'm a little bit lucky because I have all these fidgets here. Can you identify something that's shaped like a circle? And see if there are any other shapes that you can find. You can also give yourself an assignment of counting rainbows. In the space where you are right now, look around you and see if you can find something that's the color red. You got it? Now find something orange. Find something yellow. Find something green. Find something blue. And find something purple. So that's one rainbow shape, right? Or one rainbow count. And once you get to the end of that rainbow spectrum, you can start all over again. If you're in a space where there are people, you can take a poll. How many of them look like they are tired? How many people look overdressed for the weather? How many people look like they're cold, they didn't dress warmly enough? If you're in a meeting or if you're in class, you can take a poll. How many of the people around you look like they're about to fall asleep? How many of them are actually sleeping right now? When I taught elementary school, this was one of my favorite things. How many of my classmates are actually sleeping right now? So we can just name items. We can look at different shapes. We can count rainbows. We can do a human bingo or take a poll. 4 things that you feel. We're on to the second one. This is not our emotions, but this is 4 things we feel in kind of a tactile way. You always have your hands with you. And so you could even, on your hands, see if you can find 4 different textures. How is the palm of your hand? How does that feel different from your knuckles? And how do those feel different from your actual fingernails? Maybe the bed of your fingernail, the tip of your fingernail. How do the tendons on the back of your hand feel different from the sort of soft padding here? And give yourself a moment to explore those different textures with your hand. And notice when you move your hand over the other hand, are there any parts that stay still? Are there parts that move? Just notice what that feels like. Three things you hear. Give yourself a moment to really listen to the world around you right now and see if you can identify 3 different sounds. If you're having trouble finding 3, a couple of options. You can count my voice as one of those 3 items. You can also change position. I'm in a very squeaky chair here. Let's see if we can find 3 things that we hear right now. You got them? 2 things you smell. Some spaces this is easier. If you're at home right now, maybe you're in a room that has things that have different smells or scents. If you're in your kitchen, if you're in your bathroom, maybe you have hand lotion or soap. If you are in an office, I used to be right next to the kitchen and I could smell all of the delicious smells at lunch. Or if I open my window, I can smell the restaurant next door. If you're having a hard time finding things, see what is on you that you can smell. Did you wash your hands recently? Have you used hand sanitizer? Does your shampoo smell good? Do you need to wash your clothes? Or does it smell like your laundry detergent? Give yourself a chance to notice those different scents. If you're outside, you can also notice the quality of the air. Is it cool and refreshing? Is it humid? Is it cold? Does that air kind of sting your nose as you breathe it in? 2 things we smell. And the last thing is 1 thing we taste. So if you've just eaten something, this may be easier. If you've just had a sip of water, this may be easier too. Notice the quality of your mouth. Is there a flavor? Did you just wake up? Do you feel like you need to brush your teeth? Did you just brush your teeth and you have a nice fresh taste in your mouth? Are you thirsty? Are you refreshed? Is there anything that you want to do to change the flavor that you currently have? Anytime you want to, give yourself a little bit of a different focus to pull yourself away from those anxious thoughts. Let yourself shift your focus to 5 things you see, 4 things you feel with your hands, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing that you taste. And again, if you liked some aspects of this, feel free to just focus on that. If there are any aspects you didn't like, feel free to discard those. If you're in your room and you're having trouble falling asleep at night, 1 other task for the 5 things you see if you can identify 5 different sources of light. Even if you have blackout curtains, there may be a little sliver of moonlight coming into your room. If you have a power strip, look for that. If you have anything plugged in and charging, notice if you see any light emitting from that source or from a clock or under your doorway. If your door kind of opens onto a hallway, you may see light there as well. So you can even do this exercise at night when it's dark. Thanks for joining me today. Nice to see you all. Please keep taking good care of yourselves. Bye.